Hello everyone. Today is Tuesday, August 1st, 2023 at 3:12 a.m. in the morning. Excuse me. I guess it's a countdown. 24 more days before me and my twin sister turn 40 years old. Excuse me. But it's like I don't have anything to look forward to this month or this year for our 40th birthday. I don't have anything to look forward to. Just doggone existing and struggling to survive. I don't have anything I can do. Nowhere really to go. And a lot of people, they want to punish you for treating yourself, even if it's for a birthday occasion. So, people don't want to see me happy, but then they always talking about that they avoid me because their false accusations of me being so negative. But I'm just being me. You know, I quit people pleasing a long time ago. But within the past couple of years, I guess on rare occasions, I have fallen into the trap of people pleasing or or try to stay in people's good graces. And people that they're not even God, you know. So the night before last, I think I fell asleep at about 10 o'clock and then woke up at 12:15, could not go to sleep. And then David Jane came to harass me at 2 o'clock in the morning around my time. And then it was almost midnight where he is, you know. And then after that he left me alone after I explained that already. But my anxiety was high and I did a few videos. I couldn't sleep off and on throughout the middle of the night. I kept trying to go back to sleep off and on and still couldn't sleep. I had some cereal to eat. And I had that last little sweet waffle thing. And so I don't have no more of those Julian's recipe Belgian waffle thingies. So then I guess around 5 o'clock I tried to go to sleep. 5 o'clock yesterday morning I could not sleep. I think I tried again later on in the morning after daylight sometime and still could not sleep. And so I stayed awake. And then, excuse me, I try to tell y'all what happened when I went to Aldi. I prayed before I left that, everything would go smoothly and that nothing bad would really happen. But as I said, I'm just like that lady from the Social Security office was planted there on June 29th. That was a setup. And then yesterday, it was another gang stalking setup with the bus driver. I already explained that Masonic gang stalker that was behind the bus driver in that gray truck and purple with the red shirt. So, yeah, they had fake customers crowding up on me, and then they had this other older white man. He looked like he wasn't that much taller than me, and he tried to run up on me with his basket and then give me mean, dirty looks. So, and then they had this lady that was wearing blue, that she just would not get out of my damn way, and pretended that she was staring at the same item that I was trying to look at or that I was trying to get. And she was there before me. It's like, it seems like as if they know what's in my doggone head or what's on my mind before I even, But I was disappointed. I feel like, I felt like all these sucks. But then again, I felt like, I guess, what do you expect? It's a small town. So some of the items that I really wanted to get, that I picked out, they didn't have them in the store. So I guess it's self-torture that it's worth it in the end. It's worth it to do your own labor with preparing food yourself. Preparing and cooking food for yourself. And you know what you're putting in you have a lot of, self-control or control over what you put in your food. But, sometimes they might trick you into thinking that such and such is natural and organic, and it be something that's fake and toxic. Like somebody on TikTok, I saw a video. Oh no, that wasn't TikTok. That was Twitter. That somebody exposed these fake organic eggs that was made in a lab, and they're doing the same thing with the chicken. So they'll even lie and say on the package that such and such is all natural. And, even it's like they'll say like no hormones or no antibiotics or whatever. But the chicken leg quarters that I got, I think they were $4.72 for a 10-pound bag. I didn't think that they could be able to fit in the mini freezer, but they were able to fit up in there, but they were humongous. But I feel like, I'm stuck with it for the rest of the month, so this is what I'll eat, but I'll try not to get those again. But they had other leg quarters that seemed more natural, but they costed more money. If you get 3 leg quarters for $5, but it's supposed to be more natural or whatever. But then the leg quarters, that's in a 10-pound bag, ended up, I don't even know, I think it was like 11 or 12 pieces of chicken up in there, or probably 13, 14. I don't know. But that many leg quarters for under $5, you would think it seems too good to be true. And then it would turn out to be harmful. But I'm sitting here being afraid, I would get called stupid or told that I deserve that I would get every bit of cancer that I deserve if I got the 10-pound bag of chicken for under $5. But then I would get told that I'm wasting money or wanting to live in luxury if I got the one pack of 3 different chicken leg quarters for almost, for like, actually, I would see 3 leg quarters at Aldi for like, it would be like $5.65 or something like that, just for 3 of them, 3 leg quarters. But so I heard that, the government is ramping up with the fake food. Like, when I wouldn't have the opportunity to go to the real grocery store, when I didn't have the opportunity to go, I would the most I could shop at is Dollar General or Family Dollar, or on rare occasions 7-Eleven. And the only restaurant in town, I just found out that in the fake Darnell Williams perk mentioned that he made a harassing comment a couple of days ago about Los Nietos. Excuse me. I think Nietos in Spanish is cousins. So that Los Nietos place, the Los Nietos place, he mentioned about that, but then I found out that place burned down. Now, like, I don't know when it burned down, but that was the place I was talking about. The only restaurant in town, but they have another taco stand right across from the 7-Eleven that's right by the post office. But the Los Nietos restaurant, like, they were open like supposedly from 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning all the way until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I only been there like 3 times. 3, I don't think 4. I think 3. And she would give like big, huge pancakes. I think it was 2 or 3 big pancakes. It would be like a pancake plate for $10. But when I first came there, I was disappointed that she said that there was no orange juice. But I think it was not July, but the beginning of June. She threw up the 666 hand signs with both hands, and like in my face, like trying to force me to see it. And I'm like, okay, you're a perk. I'm never coming back here again. So I never went back, and then I found out that that place is burned down. At first, I thought they were trying to say that the new Family Dollar Dollar Tree burned down. And I'm like, no. But I don't know if, since they're so close by, I don't know if the Family Dollar Dollar Tree was affected. But yesterday morning, when riding towards the towards Victoria, I saw only one truck in the parking lot by the Family Dollar Dollar Tree. So yeah, like at least half the building is burned down. I mean. So, well, so yeah, so I mean, I bought just about everything raw that I have to cook, like fruit. Well, I don't have to cook the fruit, but vegetables I have to cook. Like, so I got a lot of fruits and vegetables, but I was disappointed because I really wanted some carrots, and they didn't have carrots. at Aldi. They didn't have carrots, but and I wanted some arugula and spinach, but I didn't get. I mean, I didn't get it because I figured that the stuff that I had probably would have it would have been too. It probably wouldn't fit in the mini fridge and freezer. But so I got me some pears, plums, bananas, and raspberries, and I got me some garlic, mini sweet peppers, um, French French beans, celery, cilantro, and asparagus. And I thought I got one more vegetable. Well, cilantro is an herb, not a vegetable. And but garlic. What is that? What category is the garlic? Is it herb or vegetable? Sometimes like garlic and ginger will be put in the category of spices. So I got the skinny asparagus, thinking that they would be more tender, but the bigger, I mean the the bigger asparagus, I I mean I knew that they would be tough, but I had the small asparagus that was a lot of it was tough. I don't know why I feel like I'm missing a vegetable, but I have regular potatoes and sweet potatoes. But I learned something new yesterday. I was kind of questioning, I didn't know before, but I was kind of questioning and wondering, why do some of those potatoes at Aldi? I was going to buy me a big 10-pound bag of regular potatoes, but then again, when I went in person and then I looked and realized how much that was, and I realized it was just me, so I'm like, oh no, I can't get all those potatoes. But I love sweet potatoes so much that I would like to get sweet potatoes and regular potatoes every month, or almost every month, with the grocery shopping. So I got, I mean the so it was an under 5 pounds of loose potatoes, and one of them I had to throw away. I mean, I was wondering, is this normal? And like the potato is kind of green, you know. And then I looked online just to stay on the safe side, and I looked online on the internet, and then realized that the green means that the potato is very toxic, very poisonous. But I've seen fries, like French fries back then, have some green on it, and I'm pretty sure I ate them before, and I didn't know no better back then. But I learned something new yesterday, that they said that it's a strong possibility that it's very toxic and can kill you. So they said that the potatoes are green for being exposed to light for too long. And I'm like, well, I didn't even, if I would have known that before, then some potatoes have to go wasted. You know, if I would have known that before, I wish I would have. But what if you buy a whole bag of potatoes rather than loose potatoes, and then you don't know until you get home? And when I was in foster care, I mean, I didn't know also that when they have those buds growing out of potatoes, I didn't know that they were supposedly unsafe or toxic to eat as well. That's another thing I learned, because in foster care, the foster mom used to buy like 5 or 10 pound bag of potatoes, and they used to have those things growing out of them. But she used to make us eat them anyway, but nothing really happened to us. But the green potato, yeah, I kind of think this is something new. So I have to be more careful. Like if it's green on a potato skin, you know. So I was looking for the organic watermelon ice pops, and I was disappointed that they didn't have those. They had some kind of French toast maple bread that I wanted. They didn't have that. So the only junk food that I and guess what? I've seen certain potato chips with some green. I've seen certain potato. Excuse me. I've seen certain potato chips with some green on it. I've seen certain potato chips with some green on it. So I mean, the only junk food I got from Aldi yesterday that I can think of is that I got me some a big bag of barbecue potato chips. But I don't think, since I got all this potato, I don't think I'll open those soon. But I already have breakfast food like grits, farina, and oatmeal. So I felt like, well, I'm good on breakfast food, and I got some pancake mix. I also got me, I couldn't find the chickpeas. I got me some more sugar. I got me what I really love, my favorite. I got me 5 cans of pork and beans. I got me some little quinoa, ready to eat quinoa thingies. I got some cheap macaroni and cheese shells. I got me some cheese, Colby Jack cheese, and mozzarella cheese. And that's what I got. Oh yeah, did I say I got sugar? Excuse me. And I got me a big, I guess it was a 5-pound bag of jasmine rice. So I got me some eye of round steaks. And I got me some scallops. And they didn't have the other fish I was trying to get. I forgot what other fish it was. I don't remember what fish that I picked out to get, but they didn't have it. So I got me some scallops. So I got scallops. They had like a twin pack of pork loin. I got that too. Yeah. I think I didn't get any turkey or any fancy special meat, but well, I guess the scallops is kind of expensive and fancy, but not up there. So so yeah, I got a lot of fruits and vegetables. I got some, the Anjou pears, and I got some Good Belly probiotics. So yesterday, I mean, it was like about a month ago. I told one of the ladies that work at the front office. I notified her about the air conditioner leaking, and she made it like it was normal and okay. But now I have a problem where the air conditioner is leaking inside of here. So I have to tell the front office. So I got 1 day left of that Klondike ice cream cone. 1 day left. And I'll be, Yeah. And one day left of milk, and I got 3 eggs left. But as much as I love butter, I started to buy some more butter as well. But I have like a, it's like not a stick and a half, but it's more than a stick and a half, but less than 2 sticks of butter. But I felt like, well, I almost need more butter. But I didn't get it because I felt like, well, for health reasons, I would like to try to use up this surplus of coconut oil that I have, in which I used it yesterday for, with my dinner. So, yeah, I got like a lot of healthy food yesterday, but yeah, the chicken is very questionable. I mean, the leg quarters, the thigh part of the leg quarter by itself is bigger than a chicken, bigger than your average chicken breast. But I'm like, I guess I'll just suck it up and stick with it for this month. And if I wanted leg quarters, to try to get the more natural ones that cost more money. And I was told to be cautious about plastic being in rice. And one thing I recently learned, I didn't know that I know that people rinse and sort beans, but I didn't know that people rinse rice. Some people say don't rinse rice because, if you don't rinse it, then you can retain vitamins and nutrients and stuff. But I heard that they have that if you get rice from Dollar Tree, that if you get cheap rice, it would contain plastics, and people rinse that off. That it contained plastics that will float if you rinse it off or something. But excuse me. So yesterday I spent 2 hours cooking, and that's aside from actually I think it was 3 something when I started cutting up the vegetables, but then it was almost 4:30 when I started to try to boil them. That was a lot of labor, but as I said, that I feel like as if I put too much of the Celtic sea salt. I feel like as if I put too much sea salt and a little too much vinegar, the apple cider vinegar, the raw apple cider vinegar, when I put it in there in the vegetables, and I should have put less salt, apple cider vinegar, and water. But yeah, but it was torture being very sleep deprived and cooking or trying to cook. And it's the same torture with driving a car, while sleep deprived. The gang stalkers won't allow me to have proper sleep. They do this on purpose. They do it to a lot of targets. and then that's one of the reasons why targeted individuals would be acting out on each other or having mood swings. So even though a lot of people, once I got this new account, a lot of people on TikTok had turned against and betrayed me in the so-called TI community and falsely accused me of being a perp. excuse me, but then after that, I'm glad I still have some support from people. It's not a whole lot, but it's amazing that I have any support from anybody, because they want to try to make sure you don't have any support. Or the gang stalkers want to make sure that no one likes you or that everybody hates you. And even other professed targeted individuals, that they might say that I'm a bad person or that I'm the problem. Excuse me. So, yeah. So, I guess it was like almost 6:30 when I got done cooking, and then I ate. Excuse me. And I took out the trash and had the incident that I told y'all about. I did a lot of cooking and dishwashing. And then I took a shower. As I said, I was going to go run a couple of errands yesterday, but after the grocery store incident, I felt frustrated, and I felt like, well, I'm just in for the rest of the day. Even yesterday afternoon, could not sleep. But I was afraid I was going to doze off and fall asleep while cooking, but that didn't happen. Thankfully, I'm glad it didn't happen. I was fighting, It's like, well, I already started cooking. But the sleep deprivation feeling and sleepiness kicked in yesterday morning before I left to go to the grocery shopping. Now, that bus driver, that little transportation van driver, was abusive and narcissistic enough that, they had he had a discussion with some of the other passengers about pets. Because I think we saw a dog, or a lady had a dog, or we saw pets or something, I don't remember, riding by. And then the bus driver, said, any of y'all had pets? And then, the passengers started talking about their cats and dogs or whatever. And then the bus driver made a fake joke talking about that his wife is his pet. And then he started to make like he was joking, like he was saying bad stuff about her. And then joked and laughed, and then try to cover it up with fake love. And then try to make it like that he loved his wife and that his wife is his everything or something like that. But yeah, he hurried up and said something like that, pretend like he was joking, because people looked at him sideways for saying that, But I remember that abusive, narcissistic, fake cab driver, William Lehrman, that trained me with Glenn's cab and fake Gretna. He wasn't joking when he bragged about ignoring his wife to the point to where she has to be forced to beg him for sex or something like that. And he would brag about punishing his wife or withholding sex as punishment. So back to this bus driver, So they were all talking, and the white man with the cane had now I mentioned in a couple of YouTube or TikTok videos about narcissistic abusers acting like Tasmanian devils. And so he did like a fake directed conversation and used that term, like a Tasmanian devil. Excuse me. You know, if I made the analogy that narcissistic abusers rage like a Tasmanian devil when they get mad. Excuse me. And then he said something along, not narcissist, but he mentioned something about, I just remember he used the phrase Tasmanian devil, like as if it was directed conversation. You know, use that phrase. And so, after getting into it with the bus driver, like I already told y'all about the incident. Well, that same white man, he when I was gathering my bags to get off the bus, I did not realize that my ass was in his face when I was bending down trying to get my stuff. And I didn't realize it. Then I turned around and I said, oops, I am so sorry. And he said, oh, you don't need to be sorry. I was enjoying it, actually. I'm like, what? And so then, and the bus driver, it seemed like after he picked the argument, I forgot, I didn't have the time in the 10 minutes allotment, and I didn't realize until after the video that the bus driver with the little small transportation that he narcissistically, you know, volunteered himself without asking if I wanted help. You know, he did it in a way like as if I'm slow and too retarded to know how to carry doggone bags. So he helped me with half the, you know, because a lot of times I would rather people ask me if I want help first, because then I freak out with the OCD and people be having dirty hands and everything. And so, so he voluntarily picked up a couple of my bags and brought them to my front door, and then did like a narcissistic fake remark about my bags being too heavy. And I thought in my head, motherfucker, nobody told you to try to. And then it's like you know how narcissistic abusers, they do, like he went and tried to move really fast and rough handle and jerk things around, you know. But I'm sitting here wondering, yeah, if he pretended to fake help later on as a way to try to think that would redeem him, or for him to think that it would throw me psychologically, mentally, and emotionally off balance, you know, kind of throw me off, you know, from after the argument he picked with me. So it's like, okay, so this transportation is free. It doesn't cost any money, but it's hard to get. But the Uber and all that is also hard to get. You know, people don't have cars. So, as I said, even when I would have my own place, I would do big grocery shopping once a month. When I was living in Denton, Texas, when I would get my food stamps on the 5th of the month, I would get food stamps, excuse me, on the 5th of the month. And then I would go grocery shopping at fake Walmart or whatever. And they had a racist white lady in Denton, Texas, because they were white people and Mexicans, you know, were extremely racist towards blacks in Denton, Texas. And so So then, excuse me, yeah, it's very racist in North Texas. So the whites and Mexicans were racist against us. I've even been called the N-word, by a bus driver calling me the N-word and a little girl. And then when I got arrested wrongfully, the man said, "I bet you didn't be in the jail before." And then he told me the N-word. And I had before then, no, I had never been to jail before then. So he told me, "I bet you'd have been to jail before." And then he said, So, they rough handled and they arrested. Well, no, he didn't rough handle and arrest me, but it was a different police officer that arrested me when I got tricked and scammed online by I recently told y'all about the time when I was wrongfully arrested because I didn't know that was a fake check for a non-existent bank. It was a fake check that looked legit, and I didn't know that the bank didn't exist. I didn't know that it was fake. And then the racist white female, the abusive, narcissistic, racist white female, lied on me. She lied to me and said that she wasn't going to call the police. And then she called, and then immediately after she lied, then she called the police immediately in front of my face. But it wasn't my fault. I didn't know. So I've heard it was a big time thing going on, that the real scammers setting people up and kick back and laugh. And while victims unknowingly go try to cash a check, not knowing that the check is fake, and then they end up getting arrested and going to jail. And I heard that that's still going on. So, narcissistic abusers, they're self-righteous about, like what I showed y'all yesterday. They're so high-minded and puffed up and arrogant and self-righteous about rules and laws. But then you enforce rules on them. They look at you as if they answer, like as if you're crazy, and they act like as if they answer to no one. They proudly feel like as if they answer to no one. So then, but anyway, back to Denton, Texas. It was 2007, and it was a racist, elderly, white female bus driver. And, what they used to do is they used to allow the illegal Mexicans that didn't speak English and other white people were allowed to eat on the bus. But if a black person were to eat or drink on the bus, they get kicked off. Even though the sign says no eating or drinking, but they're selective on who to enforce, on who to enforce the rules. Like yesterday, if I was the race of that man that was the bus driver, or if I was white or Asian or something, he wouldn't have did what he did to me. And somebody warned me, saying that be careful because a lot of these gang stalkers are undercover racists. And that's why they project onto the targeted individual and lie. They use projection and lie and say that the target, in one of the smear campaigns, they will lie and say that the target is racist. So, they'll lie and say that the targeted individual is racist and narcissistic or has a personality disorder or, the drug drug addict, prostitute, crazy person, pedo, and everything else, you know. So then the lady, on the elderly lady back in 2007, she was like, walking around with all them silly bags, huh? Walking around with all them, and I said, what? She was like, walking around with all them silly bags, huh? And I'm like, what you mean? And then she's like, 3 bags, 3 bags. And she kept getting louder and louder. And then I cried the rest of the ride home. And from then on, I started to take I had to take money out of my monthly income to take a cab. So, excuse me. And then I would have to wait 3 hours for a cab, a taxi cab. And they kept, I don't even know, but I heard that it happened to everybody. If they'll say, call back at 45 minutes, and they'll keep telling you, call back at 45 minutes. And then, and even some of the cab drivers in Denton, Texas were racist, prejudiced against blacks. Like, it was very well known that the man named Doug was racist against black people. I mean, that worked for it was called Double A Taxi in Denton, Texas. So, yeah, I would have to reserve $20, you know, and set it aside on the 5th of the month for my groceries, and I have to go through this every month, and couldn't even have good birthday ice cream and cake or whatever, because if I would try to reserve some, like maybe $10 of food stamps or $20 of food stamps for me and my twin sister's birthday, but I have to celebrate by myself. Then after that, what would happen is I would have to end up it's like the ice cream would like that big thing of I wouldn't eat it all at once, of course, but that big thing of Bluebell ice cream would get all melt. It would totally melt. It would be totally melted long before the cab driver gets there. And in Los Angeles, it would be black or Mexican bus drivers that they allow other passengers on with the shopping cart, the rolling shopping cart that you can use for shopping and laundry. I'm the only one get yelled at and told that I can't, and they'd be very extra aggressive and rude, and I'm like, well, you let them on with it, or you let them, and they try to justify the hypocrisy of why they let the other person on and not me. And so if they would be very controlling about how much stuff I should have, or pick on and harass me, you know, about having too much stuff or whatever. But, you know, due to the gang stalking and the transportation rarity, that's the reason why I try to get everything all in one trip. But 5 bags is not buying, that's not the whole store. So, as I said, the bus driver from yesterday said, bring whatever amount of bags you can put on at one time. Whatever you can carry all at once. But, you know, the previous times I had more bags than that, but carry them all at once, and then my arms would start hurting. But the other bus driver would encourage me to, and be like, you know, you can take more than one trip. You know, you don't have to do all that at once. But this bus driver, he ignored me yesterday, and I said, are you new? And he was just acting like a know-it-all narcissist and talking shit and everything. And that's why I said after I put him on film, he was really hostile and aggressive and harassing and picking on me. And once after I started filming him, that's when he toned it down. He was really bad with it. And then when I started filming and recording, that's when he toned it down. He toned it down. You know. But he can tell me about what other drivers would do. He could tell me about what happens to other passengers. But I can't tell him about what other drivers let me do. No, none of the other bus drivers. I've had 4 or 5 different other drivers. You know, maybe 3 or 4 other ones. And yeah, I actually had more stuff than that before and was never really told anything. And he's trying to say that it just have to be enough bags to put on your lap. But as I said, that other man had a big box big enough that it took up one whole seat. And I don't think the bus driver told him, that old white man that made that perverted comment and did the directed conversation, the bus driver didn't tell him nothing about that big, huge box. So, you know, as I said, I sat in the left side has 2 seats and 3 rows. And then the right side has 2 single seats. And then it had the handicap thing in the back. So then it's like he kept on harassing me about the groceries. But as I said, I sat in the second single seat on the right side. I showed y'all my bags. 5 bags I had. And the only seat sticking out was like on the the only bag I put it on the side right next to me. So he tried to make it like I was wrong. He falsely accused me of, he falsely accused me of buying up the whole store. But that's narcissistic cruelty right there. If he bragged, because he wanted to leave me, and then project that onto talking about other bus drivers would have done this, or other bus drivers would have done that to you. And then he would say other bus drivers would. That's indirect narcissistic threats. Like one way they indirect a narcissistic abuser would indirectly threaten you is by trying, it's an indirect threat for them to say you need to have this happen to you, or if they'll say that other people would do this and that to you. And he's like, well, see, if I was other bus drivers, I would have called the dispatcher. And he was so arrogant and try to frighten and scare me and lecture me like I'm a fucking child. Like a punished child who, it's like he made a big scene and blew everything out of proportion. Excuse me. He made a big scene and blew everything out of proportion. That wasn't even freaking necessary. But as I said, he was just harassing and picking with me. They had that Masonic gang stalker right behind him. And the instant I got on the bus, after the perverted man pretended to fake offer me his double seat, and I had the single seat, I'm like, no, thank you. And so then, I'm wondering if the man didn't offer me his double seat, the bus driver probably wouldn't have said anything. But I guess the other man was call himself trying to do a good deed or whatever, trying to be a gentleman and be helpful. But as I said, that bus driver took the opportunity. As I said, if the man didn't offer me help, then that bus driver probably wouldn't have said nothing. Now, like here, this man trying to offer a good deed, and you trying to fuck things up. And so then, like when I had to go to the emergency room back in May, if those ladies didn't see me with the rubbing alcohol, I wonder, with me feeling the way that I felt, I had just got me some of that alcohol. Just got it. I had ran out, and I had been feeling sick, before then. I hadn't even sprayed that much. But it was the directed energy weapons, and they try to scapegoat and lie and say it was the rubbing alcohol that caused it. Now, I've been spraying rubbing alcohol for years. Stop playing games. It's the directed energy weapons. So if it worked, all because they saw the rubbing alcohol, that's when they look for an excuse to blame that. And it seems like no matter whether they're white or Hispanic, it's like it's very few black people here. And I've been hearing that the Mexicans and Hispanics, like everywhere I go, if it's Los Angeles or Texas or wherever, I hear that the Mexicans' racism is stronger towards black people than white people, than white people's racism towards us. So even black people who are perps here in Bloomington have, told me about the Mexicans and the white people being racist and that they don't want to give black people jobs here. I only see one black dude working, and he had narcissistic himself at the 7-Eleven. If I try to order breakfast tacos, he's always in the midst of arguing with another coworker or arguing over the phone, and then kind of act like he kind of take it out on me. So it's like, I don't even know if that'd be street theater and wasting my time, or if they really can't. If everybody arguing, nobody can get along at that 7-Eleven. So I'm like, wow, I try to come just to get some breakfast tacos, but I guess I can't even do that. So but as I said, I don't even know if it be street theater or if they really be arguing about something. So I guess that's the only. They don't like the other hot food that's prepared in advance that you just grab it. They don't have sausage biscuits and all that. Like, it'd be 6 o'clock in the morning, y'all got pizza, corn dogs, hamburgers, chicken, fried chicken. Like, where's the breakfast? Like, what if I wanted a doggone sausage biscuit? I don't need that sausage biscuit, no way. They be having like hot dogs, like during breakfast hours. That's already pre-made and put out there, and it's self-serve. But no croissant sandwiches with egg and ham or none of that. So, they have the little deli thingy, I guess you call it a Mexican deli. And they have, where they make the tacos or whatever for you. And if I try to go there to order some tacos, it's always them arguing or something. Or wasting my time. So, I guess they argue to the point to where they have me to get frustrated and give up on the desire to want to order food to eat. But yeah, that Los Nietos place, no more. It is burnt down. I don't know if I don't know if they're gonna rebuild it or what they're gonna do. I don't know. I mean, I'm unsure of what they're gonna do. But yesterday, all day long, especially yesterday morning on the bus and at the store, I mean, I kept on feeling panic attack kind of feelings and feeling very fearful about the feeling very fearful about the Social Security incident and some other issues. You know, that the thing with the issue with the SSI and some other issues. You know, so I'm hoping to try to get this thing straightened out or sorted out. You know, as I said, like, gang stalking is a fraud, and our doggone government is a fraud. But because of their fake power that they sold their souls to the devil for, you know, nobody gonna punish them. So, yeah, I've been like feeling extremely depressed and having like panic attacks. Panic attacks to the point where I feel like I can't even function. But it seems like almost everybody is here in Bloomington and in Victoria. Almost everybody except for me is a satanic, narcissistic gang stalker. They all got that highly narcissistic personality, power hungry, narcissistic personality. You know, but in Victoria, they got more black people over there. They even got some hood areas. But some people consider this spot in Bloomington, some people consider this the hood. Now, I guess if there's Dollar General and Family Dollar, people feel, you know, I guess people would say that that's dead giveaway, that you're in the hood whenever there's Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, or Dollar General or something like that, or 7-Eleven. But if you HEB Plus or Aldi, they say that's the rich folks' spots, you know. But some people say that they get cheaper food from Aldi, but I heard horror stories that freaked me out because people on TikTok were saying that Aldi is organic and natural and everything good. But then they said that they would buy produce and then it would go bad the next day. And I'm like, yeah, well, I heard that it's because they don't have the pesticides and preservatives and all that. But the pears, like I know that the raspberries, like the raspberries, some of them were kind of wilted, but it felt good to have some fresh raspberries. You know, I ate half a thing of raspberries yesterday afternoon before 4:00. I was cutting up the was it after 4:00 and I was already cooking. And I was, you know, I try to eat some raspberries and drink some water to try to stay awake and try to stay awake and alert. Yeah, that was, you know, it'd be so scary. And in 2017, with the sleep deprivation and trying to cook or trying to drive a car, I thought that somebody was just practicing witchcraft on me. But I didn't realize it was the gang stalking and directed energy weapons. And certain targeted individuals say that directed energy weapons is witchcraft technology. But in 2016 and 17, you know, they were killing me up in there and hitting me with directed energy weapons so bad that I kept having to go to the emergency room and be the abusive, narcissistic, pregnant nurses who smoked cigarettes. They didn't want to help me, and they tried to force me to suffer. And they were sadistic and didn't care and treated me like I deserved, like a criminal who deserved to be punished. And they were going to sit there and let me die at Oshner Hospital on Jefferson Highway in Jefferson, Shrewsbury area. I mean, my blood pressure ended up being like 184/79 or something like that. And I'm like, please help me. Help me. And they didn't want to help me. And then when I mentioned about, they had this abusive, narcissistic transit bus driver that yelled at me and said, that's because you keep eating GMO food. I'm like, how you know what I be eating? How you know what I be eating? So, like a know-it-all narcissist, and that's because you didn't. That's because that when you think you know it all and you think you know better than me. But the food that I currently have in the refrigerator and freezer now, minus a couple of candy bars and that one last ice cream. Other than that, because Caramello and Symphony bars, I haven't had those in years also. So this is just something rare. But I didn't see the kitchen sink cookies that they advertised that I wanted to try. They had these cupcakes. Aldi had the cupcakes on sale for 38 cents. I didn't see those. They didn't have the organic watermelon pops. And those maple French toast bagels or something. I wanted to try. They didn't have those. Excuse me. And I wanted some carrots. They didn't have those. But they had the asparagus spinach mixture, but I wouldn't have been able to fit it in the refrigerator. So I had to take the pears and put them in a dark bag. The pears probably would be one of the last fruits to go bad. But like the plums and the bananas and all that, I have to tear those up like within less than a week. But the pears would kind of last longer. But if I wanted something fruity, I got a couple of small cans of pineapple juice, and I also I bought 2 cartons of the Good Belly fruity probiotics thing, Excuse me. So it's 4:20 in the morning right now. It was about 1:30 my time, but 11:30 in Los Angeles. This morning, David Jane he tried to harass me approximately 3 hours ago. And he made at least 14 comments before I was able to stop him. Because I think I dozed off and tried to go back to sleep. And then I woke up when he had at least 14 harassing comments. It'd be the same ignorant, dumb, goofy shit. So, if I slung Raven under the couch, or if I slung her against the wall, or if I touched her or did this or did that, why am I not in jail or prison? If I'm a criminal, lock me up. So I've been feeling high anxiety about my finances lately. And, the threats from the Social Security office that's been, causing me panic attacks. Like I've been having like severe panic attacks. So they think that disabled and elderly people are supposed to be forced to be punished with poverty. That you have to be forced to be punished with poverty. So I mean, the gang stalking network forced me to have to be homeless. And then the what happened made everybody have to suffer. It made everybody have to suffer. And then, I was struggling. Like in 2019, on rare occasions at the end of the month, I have asked for help here and there, panhandled or whatever. But after Alex Dupree ran me out of Pensacola, and then they would have constant weather problems, and then me being homeless on the streets and ran off from this abandoned spot, or, if there's an abandoned bank, and then they go and the Masonic gang stalkers that's rich, they go and start a business there and build it up, and then now it's their property and I have to leave. Excuse me. So and it seemed like at 25 West Government Street, me being homeless on the streets there, if I could have just ride the bus without a hassle and go to UWF campus and swim and shower, or go to the YMCA and spend no money, no bus fare, and just walk to the YMCA and swim and shower. And if I was under enough protection from the weather, then that would be less money that I would have had to ask for help. But I mean, I tried any and everything legal, out of desperation. But I wasn't going to resort to committing crimes on purpose, or I wasn't going to resort to trying to steal or rob people or prostitute or sell myself or anything like that. I busted ass trying to get a job, getting workplace mobbed, and they wanted to keep me poor and homeless and telling everybody don't help me. And so it's like the Social Security Administration, they want to keep you forced poor and don't want you getting help from nobody. But look how the economy is. And the landlord, there's really no affordable housing. The gang stalkers should not have run me out. I mean, trying to kill me and make me feel unsafe and running me off my Section 8 home in the first place. So, if you have an abusive, narcissistic, gang stalking next door neighbor that would strategically wait until 2:30 in the morning and blare super loud music, and then make you feel unsafe and try to threaten you or make you feel intimidated when you confront them, you have a whole job interview or you have an exam to take for a good job opportunity or a job interview, and then you end up oversleeping and missing a job opportunity because they kept you up all night with the noise campaigns and blasting loud music. And then they would tell you you're unreasonable and that you're the problem. So I had to deal with that. Or, if they'll say that it was a man named Michael that was a neighbor when I was staying about 2812 Claremont Street, a man nearby who was a perp named Michael, he used to give me a hard time. And him and this guy named, that they say his name was Ted or something. Like, what the hell kind of name is Ted? T-I-D. But he had this rough, raggedy truck. And he would rev up the truck at specifically 3:15 in the morning, every morning. And Michael would, at exactly 6:15 in the morning, start blasting loud music. Like, they were creating, and it was black and Creole black or whatever you want to call them. They consider themselves black folks, but they were Creoles, or supposedly Creole. And I got, like, living there and also living back in Gretna or living in Los Angeles, living in Greenville, South Carolina. If it weren't for the noise campaigns, I had to deal with the vibe. Like, my body, they would wait till after dinner time or after 7 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock in the evening to start vibrating my body. And then it would intensify after 11 o'clock p.m. every night. And then it was worse on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. It was the worst. But then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights, they would tone it down. But I heard that the gang stalkers make more money on the weekends and holidays and the target's birthday. So you see, like, around holidays and stuff, they would be more aggressive with the gang stalking, like desperate, and and y'all don't call that scam or fraud. How many gang stalkers, because, like, how many, they have gang stalkers with houses and cars and live on free Section 8 and get SSI checks. People don't, like, do you tell the gang stalkers that they have to turn in or show proof of money that they're getting or income or whatever? Y'all don't question them. You don't say that they're committing fraud when gang stalkers get paid to torture the target. But as I said, I'm sitting here trying to survive and didn't even realize or didn't know that, I had to report this or report that. And I'm sitting here just, all that's on my mind is in 24/7 constant survival mode. Not even realizing this or that, or not knowing this, or forgetting about that. So, for me to have to ask for help online, that was a freaking last resort out of desperation. Because as I said, I'm a generous and giving person, and I enjoy doing so. And I've always loved to and wanted to be independent, or self-sufficient. But they keep you dependent and needy so that they can control you and restrict you and keep you down even more. So, like, if somebody gifts you with a car and you get SSI or Social Security, it seems like Social Security Administration want to punish you for it. And I'm like, what? Like, they don't want you to have anything. Like, they criminalize, and it's like, they would have people, excuse me, who would, talk about, like, if I be, like, heavily talking about how I wish I could have a job and work or whatever. And they'd be like, well, they try to instill fear by being like, you don't want to mess up your benefits. Fuck them. There ain't no real benefits. If they want to be very controlling and restrictive. As I said, I'm disabled, but I never asked for this shit in the first place. It's too much government doggone control. As I said, like, they want to criminalize selling lemonade. Oh, you got to have a license to sell. Like, come on. You want to know how many people will be set free from homelessness if everybody can run their own business? Or if more people can run their own business? I don't know. But it's like, this is senseless, though, that you have to have a license to feed homeless people free food. The government wants you to, they want to control and regulate and make you have a license to distribute food to the homeless. But then you have evil police, abusive, narcissistic, psychopathic, evil police officers who would, if homeless people have to last resort go eat out the garbage can, the police officers, I heard stories about how police officers would pour bleach on all the garbage cans, hoping to poison and kill homeless people. So, I mean, as I said, if y'all wouldn't have criminalized my rights to survive, I wouldn't have had to try to last resort, have to beg for financial help online to a bunch of strangers. And they won't even let me work for my own. I would prefer self-employment, but due to the targeting and forced self-isolation and nobody really wanting to support me, I wouldn't even really get any good business. Or I would get virtually no business at all. But the popular fake T.I. perps, though, if they sell t-shirts related to the T.I. community, they get good business. But it seems like being self-employed, people only support you if you're popular and well liked, and you gotta be fake and inauthentic. You have to be plastic and generic and artificial and superficial. You can't be raw and uncut. I mean, and all these people who will tell you to repent of your sins and stuff, but you hate me, but you're telling me to repent of my sins. You hate me, or you can give a damn about me. I mean, you don't care about me, but you're telling me to repent of my sins. They want to be self-righteous about rules and laws just to make themselves look big. And everybody want to play God. But like the bus driver, with him being self-righteous about following rules yesterday, yeah. He said he took God's name in vain yesterday. But you're self-righteous about rules, but you took God's name in vain yesterday. You can break God's law, but people act like as if they elevate man's fake rules and laws over God's rules and laws. And they want to make it to the point where people fear going to jail or prison or the mental institution before they fear going to hell for all eternity. So, thanks for listening to me. It's 4:36 in the morning. Love y'all.